Hey guys, it's Cam. Welcome back to The Problem With. Please watch the full video. Don't just dislike the video without giving us a chance to dig deep on your team. It sucks when someone slightly disses your team, but it also might lead to some deep thinking about the lack of success. Don't be afraid to comment down below if you do disagree or agree or anything stated in the video. For episode 9 today, we're looking at the problem with the Tennessee Volunteers.
Dobbs heaves it. They're bunched up in the end zone. It's tipped up. It's caught. It is caught. Jawan Jennings.
Just took my visit to the University of Tennessee. Let's see what they gave me, man. I hope it's a Big Mac. Oh.
And wouldn't you know it, history is on the field.
Knoxville, Tennessee. This is the location of a very storied program that has produced NFL champions and none other than Hall of Fame quarterback Peyton Manning. This program is the University of Tennessee. Starting in 1891, the team has played 128 seasons, having an all-time record of 857, 409, and 56. That leads to a 67% winning percentage. They have won 29 bowl games and 6 national championships, with 8 more that they have not claimed. They have also won 16 conference championships, with 13 being in the SEC. With legends such as Robert Neyland, Phillip Fulmer, and Peyton Manning, you might be wondering why there's a problem. Well, let me explain.
The Tostitos starting lineup for the Tennessee Volunteers across the front. Left tackle Chad Clifton and right guard Cozy Coleman, both at 315 pounds. They're the big guys. The wide receiving core, very definitely an offensive strength here. Bryce, Copeland, Cedric Wilson. The backs, Travis Henry and Travis Stevenson, man the position tailback or the deep back very well. Jamal Lewis, as you all know, went down with a knee and is out for the season. The fullback, Sean Bryson, is a very good football player.
It's 1999. Legendary head coach Phillip Fulmer has been preparing his team all year for this moment. Quarterback T. Martin has played amazing all year. He has thrown for 2,164 yards with 19 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Him and his team were not shy of winning as they have won every game this year, going 12-0 up to this point. But they weren't up against a cakewalk of a team. They were up against Southern powerhouse Florida State Seminoles led by Bobby Bowden and Chris Winkie. Tennessee had a slight upper hand going into the game because Chris was unfortunately injured. After the first quarter went scoreless, showing how dominant these defenses were, the scoring quickly got started after Tennessee drove down the field and T. Martin threw the first touchdown of the game, being a 4-yard touchdown pass to his fullback Sean Bryson. Shortly after, Florida State threw a pick six to Dwayne Goodrich, and it was showing why Tennessee had the upper hand. That all happened in a matter of 25 seconds. Yes, 25. Florida State did eventually score, being a 1-yard run as Sebastian Janikowski missed the PAT. It made the game 14-6, but Sebastian made up for it, drilling a 34-yard field goal to make the game 14-9 at the half. Starting the second half, the Vols had to sit Dwayne Goodrich, the corner, with the pick six due to an ankle injury, but luckily the change didn't hurt them at all. And yet again, the first quarter of the half went scoreless again as both defenses were showing up to play. Also, the Vols started the scoring first again, firing a 79-yard touchdown from T. Martin to Peerless Price. But the Tennessee kicker missed the PAT, making the score 29. Tennessee then did the same thing as FSU because their kicker made up for the PAT because he drilled a 23-yard field goal, making the score 23-9. Florida State was in trouble but answered shortly after. Marcus Alton, who was the quarterback filling in for Chris Winkie, scrambled for 7 yards to make the game 23-16. With a Tennessee fumble, the Florida State Seminoles were in 2-minute mode with a 7-point deficit, but Florida State threw the game away. Literally, they threw an interception and lost the game.
Lets it go big down the middle. Lavernus Coles is under it. The ball is intercepted. Steve Johnson. And that will do it.
31 years, they finally did it again, though they had 2 unclaimed between those years. But what was the key to that success? The key to the Volunteer success was Phillip Fulmer. He was an all-time great coach. He coached from 1993 to 2008. They had a grand total of 2 losing seasons and 16 seasons of coaching the team. Yes, he was a good in-game coach, but off the field, how was he? Well, he was Tennessee's greatest recruiters in the program, recruiting guys like Peyton Manning and T. Martin and winning hardware to improve their recruiting. Even though Tennessee didn't have a season below 500 until 2005, going 5-6, They didn't keep the success as they had in the late 90s and early 2000s. They even won 3 more division titles between their 98 national championship game and 2005. So what changed? Well, they never had the quarterback. Those early 2000 teams and late 90s teams had great quarterbacks. Some remember back all college football fans around the country. They just didn't have that guy. Plus, Fulmer was getting older and the game was changing. He obviously couldn't coach as well, but that didn't mean he would leave football. After a long and great stint with Fulmer, the team and Fulmer decided to part ways and it was time for someone new. Tennessee thought it was Lane Kiffin, but he only coached the 2009 season and he went 7-6 and went back to Cali to coach the USC Trojans. Then they moved to son of UGA great Vince Dooley, Derek Dooley, but after 3 short seasons, he was fired. Then the third and final coach, Butch Jones. I'm sure all of you know this man. He has a very, very storied, I guess you could say, gig at Tennessee. He was a very good coach at Cincinnati after taking over Brian Kelly there, who was the coach at Notre Dame. He was thought very high love by everybody. Fast forward to his 3rd year in Knoxville, Butch has brought the team back to the bowl games, winning last year's Tax Slayer Bowl and going 7-6. This year's Vols are 9-4 and head to the Outback Bowl. They played the Northwestern Wildcats and won it by a huge blowout, 45-6, with guys as Josh Dobbs, Jalen Hurd, Alvin Kamara, Derek Barnett, and Cam Sutton. You could easily see why this team was very talented. The team had all the pieces as you could see, so why'd they only go 9-4? It was the coaching. They opened the year beating App State by 7 in overtime, and then 2 weeks later beat Ohio by 9. They should have been 11-1. They lost in overtime to Texas A&M and lost to unranked South Carolina by 3 while being ranked 18th in the nation. But last very not least, they lost to the bottom feeder in the conference, Vanderbilt. How'd he lose to Vanderbilt? Obviously, seasons like this continued. The school students cried for Bush to be fired, and well, he was. Enter Jeremy Pruitt. He's a great coach, and I thought very highly of him. But everyone knows he took a lot of trips to McDonald's during his short-lived stint as the head coach, resulting in him being fired. But we aren't here to talk about Pruitt and his brown golden arches bags of money. We're talking about the recent hire, Josh Heupel. He took the UCF Knights over after Scott Frost's departure to his alma mater, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. He went 28-8 at UCF, and I think he will do very well in Knoxville. But how do the fans feel about it? Well, some fans don't like it, but some think it was the best hire they've made since Fulmer. I agree with the fans that think he's a great hire. I think he's the great guy for the job. I think he will recruit better and coach better in a better environment like Tennessee. I think these fans are great for him, where UCF fans kind of appearing out of nowhere after, going 0-12 and then 12-0. I'm not saying y'all are bandwagons, but y'all came out of nowhere. But I think Heupel will strive in Knoxville, and I think fans will agree. Right now, their current class is 29th, which isn't great at all, but I think it will get better as the season goes on. You got to remember, Josh has to dig this team out of a big hole. I see them winning more games in a couple seasons, but as right now, I don't see this team being successful. I think that all the transfers leaving and the new coaching will just burden this team this year and possibly next year as well, but I see a bright future for them. Problem with the Tennessee Volunteers was coaching. After Fulmer's departure, they struggled to find a replacement, and every time they thought they did, they came back to bite them. Recruiting, allegations, and fans wanting the coaches gone. I think Josh Heupel is right here for them, and I think in due time he can get this university out of the hole they are in.
It is a Tennessee ball, and boy, the emotions came out post-game last week against Missouri. Tears coming down, and it's hard not to root for a guy who has had to overcome so much.
Thank you guys for watching The Problem with the Tennessee Volunteers. Sorry for not posting this past Saturday. We just couldn't get around to filming. Everyone got really busy, but we are back on track now, and we thank all of y'all for understanding. Please like and subscribe. It truly does help us get to 200 subs. We are doing something very special to the channel, so keep tuning in and become a junkie today. It's been Cam, guys, and I'm out. Peace.